everyone. Let's wait for others to join, and we will start with the session. Okay. So today we will start with the revision, wherein we learned about variables and data types, conditional statements, loops. Okay, coming to lists, tuples, and post that dictionaries and strings as well. Okay, so that's how the agenda will go like. But I'm waiting for others to join. If you have a personal group, please ping your friends as well in order to join in, because I see the people have joined. No, we'll not start with a new topic because Shubham, you are going to get the videos, recorded videos for that. Okay, so this agenda is to revise and to basically also take up your doubts. But doubts will go topic wise. जो भी डाउट्स आई विल टेक अप वो सब टॉपिक वाइज होगा. सो जिस टॉपिक पे मैं करंटली सिखा रही हूँ, मेक श्योर दैट मतलब जो टॉपिक हम रिवाइज कर रहे हैं, मेक श्योर कि आपके डाउट्स उसी से एसोसिएटेड हो. ठीक है, बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू हैव एनी काइंड ऑफ कंफ्यूजन, एंड टू अवॉइड कंफ्यूजन्स लेट्स स्टिक टू द प्लान. Okay, we'll start in some time. I see the number of head counts are less. I want you guys to ping on your personal group so that others join the session as well. Okay? And this session is especially for the people who have not watched the videos from the starting and who joined like last session में कुछ students आए थे जिन्होंने कल ही से अटेंड करना स्टार्ट करा था. तो ये उनके लिए सबसे बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि क्योंकि हम सब बहुत बेस से विल स्टार्ट विद द रिवीजन. ओके, हाय एवरीवन, अ वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग टू यू गाइस. सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड. I hope my screen is sharing. Okay. So we will basically start with performing like very basic things, beginning first day that we understood about variables and data types. Okay. So let's start with the first one itself. पहला question होगा variable, data types and typecasting के बारे में. Okay. So the first thing is that write a program to create a variable name and assign the full name of the person or the employee, I would say. Okay, so name is my variable. Name is nothing but it's going to act like a container which can be used in order to store the value. Okay, so my variable name is name over here, and the value that I am feeding to it is Alex. Okay, when I run this, you will be able to see that you don't get a particular output. That is because यहाँ पे सिर्फ value assign हो रही है. You are only assigning a value. Equals to sign is used to assign a value. अगर आपको उस particular variable का output देखना है, then you have to type the name of the variable. Okay. Now, when I type the name of the variable, whenever I run it and wherever I run it, I'm going to get the name of the employee stored inside that variable. So variable is nothing but it's a container. Okay. Alex is a type of a data that is being fed, and this is basically called as a data type. Which data type it is? It's string value. Anything that will be stored inside single or double quote is a string value. You can confirm it by using the type function in order to check the data type of it. Okay. Next comes, let's do it fast. Okay, let's assume that rather than adding a particular value and assigning it, like assigning a value, मुझे user का input लेना है. I want to take input from a user that अपना designation enter करो. तो मैं input function use कर सकती हूँ. जब मैं input function run करूंगी तो ये क्या करेगा, एक blank box देगा. ठीक है, but if in case I can enter whatever I want. But if in case I want the person to understand that what input to enter, मैं एक text message pass कर सकती हूँ. Text message is nothing but a string value. You can pass a text message या तो double quote में या तो single quote में, whatever works with you. ठीक है, I can ask the user to enter your designation. Suppose that whenever I run this now, I'm going to get a text message printed out with it, and I can message, like type whatever I want, and the output is basically stored inside my variable. Input function का default data type क्या होता है? The default data type is basically string value. You can check by the type of it that ये basically एक string value है. ठीक है? Now let's say that I want to create a particular variable called as experience. And I want to store the experience of a particular employee. Let's say that he is John. Okay. So experience, जब मैं इनपुट फंक्शन से इनपुट लूंगी, एक्सपीरियंस जो लाइक वैल्यू है दैट इज बेसिकली सपोज टू बी या तो फ्लोट वैल्यू हो सकती है या तो इंटीजर हो सकता है, राइट? बट इनपुट फंक्शन क्या करता है, इट टेक्स द इनपुट इन अ फॉर्म ऑफ अ स्ट्रिंग वैल्यू, चाहे आप उसमें अगर इंटीजर भी एंटर करोगे, राइट? इवन इफ आई एंटर लाइक लेट्स से आई एंटर इंटीजर, ठीक है, when I check the type of this, ये basically क्या होगा, it will be in the form of string value, ठीक है? Now comes the typecasting function. I don't want the experience to be in a taken input in a form of a string value. मुझे ये जो input चाहिए, मुझे ये चाहिए float में, ठीक है? इधर मैं एक और एक कोड में इसे float में convert कर सकती हूँ, ठीक है? Or else like I can pass the variable which is storing my experience and I can update it in the same variable. Okay, this will allow me to basically update the value, and now when you check the type of your experience, आपको दिखेगा that it has converted itself into a float value. या तो आप अलग लेवल ऑफ नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ कोड पे कर सकते हो, या तो आप यहीं पे on top of input function you can apply another set of function which is going to be like float function, which will basically again convert the value into a float value. Okay, let's say that I have a company name. Okay, and let's say that I have salary also, and I want to assign the salary in lakhs. Okay, let's say that. Okay, so yeah. Now I want to write a code to find out the data type of name variable. I told you that you can use the type function to check the data type of it. Okay. Again, if in case ये जो experience मैंने float value में convert करा है, float value मतलब उसका जो end point है वहां पर basically decimal numbers है. Float is a data type which helps you to store decimal values. यहीं पे अगर मुझे इसे integer में convert करना है, I can do it. That should not be a problem because वो है numeric type, पर क्या होगा कि जो basically experience का decimal number था 0.1, that will be dropped off. एक तरीके से राउंड ऑफ हो जाएगा, आप बोल सकते हो, या तो ड्रॉप हो जाएगा. राउंड तो नहीं होता पर वो ड्रॉप हो जाता है. ओके, सो दैट्स हाउ like when you convert a float into a integer value, it will drop the float part of it, the decimal part of it. Okay, next thing that we checked on was operators. Okay, operators is nothing but like we have different arithmetic operators, we have special operators available. Let's start with the most basic one. Let's say that I want to calculate the average of two employees. ठीक है, मेरे पास एक एम्प्लॉय है, इनका मुझे एवरेज वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करना है, which is basically already being given to me. Okay, how will we calculate the average value? The average value will be nothing but we will move ahead and just a second, yeah, let's say मैं इन दोनों को ही कॉपी कर लेती हूँ. Average क्या है? Sum and divided by 2, right? So I can get the average value of the employees by basically adding it up. Okay, we can sum it up plus operator say, and I can basically like put this in a round bracket and divide it by 2. So this will eventually give me the average value of the employees. Okay, now let's say that I want to find the difference of salary between the employees. I want a percentage, like in percentage, मुझे इनके बीच में क्या difference आ रहा है? What is the difference between the everyone who has joined in late? So in today's session, हम बिल्कुल base से revision कर रहे हैं. Like we have started with the variables and data types. We'll go to the like now we are at operators. Post operators, we are going to go ahead with the conditional statements. We are going to move ahead with for loops, lists, tuples, and dictionaries. So that's basically the agenda of the day. Okay, and whatever like doubts you have, okay, what I want you guys to do is whatever doubts you have, with your doubts, I want you guys to stick to the topic. जो भी topic चल रहा है उसका basically doubt ही पूछे, ठीक है? Don't come to another topic. Topic wise, you can go ahead and ask me the doubts. and we can add variable names instead of values. Yes, we can add the variable names. I am sorry, we can also do that. Matlab, instead of taking the values, even if I take the variable names here, since the variables are storing the value, agar main variable names bhi lu, I am still gonna get the same answer. We can do it like this as well. Yes, अनुभव, अगर कोई भी स्ट्रिंग वैल्यू क्रिएट होती है बट ऑब्वियसली इट टेक्स सम मेमोरी, लाइक अगर आप उसको कोई, अगर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट को आप किसी वेरिएबल में नहीं भी स्टोर कर रहे हो, स्टिल इट इज गेटिंग क्रिएटेड एंड देयर इज बेसिकली लाइक अ मेमोरी असाइंड टू इट. Okay, now coming to that, I want to find the difference of the salary in the percentage form, okay, between the employee X and employee Y. How will we get the this difference or in the form of percentage? Okay, so in this we have a particular formula that can be used. Matlab, salary of X minus salary of Y divided by salary of Y multiplied by 400. मतलब अगर आपको employee X and employee Y का like difference find करना है, percentage difference find करना है, तो what do you need to do is simply employee X minus employee Y, and then I will basically move ahead and divide it by employee Y multiplied by 100. Just a moment. Okay, so there's a difference of 20% between their two salaries. Okay, so these are like different arithmetic operators that we have in Python. Like we have addition, we have subtraction, we have division, we have like there is a special, we have two special arithmetic operators, namely like the modulus sign. Let's say that मुझे इन दोनों के division के बाद में I want to find out the remainder. How many remain? What is the remainder that I'm going to get? I want to divide the two numbers and I want to find out the remainder. Okay, so we have something called as the modulus sign, which can be used. ये modulus sign is nothing but it's like a percentage sign. ये percentage sign क्या करता है? Division के बाद में क्या remainder आ रहा है वो as an output देगा हमें. ठीक है? It gives us the remainder after the division that we get. Apart from this, we also have something called as floor division. If you go back to time, हमने floor division भी करा है. Floor division is nothing but when you want to get, like when you want to divide the two values, but you don't want to get the integer value, like fractional part of it. मतलब अगर मैं इन दोनों को divide कर रही हूँ, let's see if I don't know if it's completely divisible. Okay. We will not, we'll get 0 here, 1 here. Let's say that मेरे पास है ना, यहाँ पर value change कर लेते हैं थोड़ी सी. Employee one को, let's say I'm dividing it by 1, 2, 3. ठीक है. Oh, or maybe I'll take another number. Sorry. Yeah. So when I am dividing these two numbers, normally मतलब normal division use करके जब मैंने divide कर रही हूँ, तो एक काफी बड़ा, like we are getting the fractional part of it. यहीं पे if I perform a floor division, okay, if I perform a floor division, it's not going to consider the you know, like the next part of it. Next part, as in the fractional part of it, will not be considered. Okay. Now, there is one particular floor division is an operator. Yes, it's an operator. The two forward slashes is basically used for floor division. Okay. Now, there is an operator. Let's say आपको square find करना है, cube root find करना है, cube find करना है, और basically raised to the power of anything. Okay. अगर मैं 2 raised to 8 find करना चाहती हूँ, तो I can use 2 double star. Double star sign is basically called as like raised to the power operator, wherein like if you want to find out the raised to the power of anything, you can use it, like चाहे square करना है, चाहे cube करना है, चाहे like raised to the power of 8 करना है, you can move ahead and perform it using the double star. ठीक है? Now let's say that there is comparison operators as well, जैसे greater, less than, equals to. These kind of operators are called as comparison operators. What is the logic we use in floor division? Floor division is a mathematical logic there. Like what we do is we do not consider fractional part of it. हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ division जो होता है वहां पर basically like it goes up till the like once the operator or floor division एक basically like जब देखता है that nearest whole number is reached, ठीक है, and it is entering the decimal part of it, it stops. ठीक है, floor division is a division operator, you can check on it. ठीक है, it's a mathematical concept which is being taught to us in the childhood as well. Okay, so it's the same. Okay, it returns only the largest integer that is possible after the division. It will not consider the fractional part of it. Okay, coming to the next one. I was talking about the comparison operator. Let's say that मुझे अगर check करना है that employee का जो salary है वो greater या less है, ठीक है, it will return a boolean value. Yes, exactly, Sudarshan. अगर मैं like let's say that I want to find out if the employee's salary is greater than employee Y, तो ये क्या करेगा, ये आउटपुट थ्रो करेगा विच इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ बूलियन वैल्यू. बूलियन इज नथिंग बट अगेन अ डेटा टाइप. ठीक है, ये जो वैल्यू है इसको एक डेटा टाइप असाइंड है. बूलियन वैल्यूज में सिर्फ 2 वैल्यूज होती है, या तो वैल्यू ट्रू हो सकती है या तो वैल्यू फॉल्स हो सकती है. ठीक है, देयर इज नो अदर बूलियन वैल्यू विच इज पॉसिबल, या तो 1 या तो 0. ट्रू इज कैलकुलेटेड एज like boolean value as true and 0 is counted as false. ठीक है, and we have multiple like comparison operator. जैसे maths में होता है greater than equals to है, less than equals to है. So all of these are basically comparison operator. Okay, अगर आपको check करना है दो values same है या नहीं है, मतलब you want to compare if they are equal or not, so we have to put double equals to. Why? Because single equal to is called as assignment operator. जब आपको कोई वैल्यू को असाइन करना है तब आप सिंगल लाइक वैल्यू सिंगल इक्वल्स टू साइन यूज करोगे, एंड इफ यू वांट टू कंपेयर देम यू यूज डबल इक्वल्स टू. And what if I want to check if the value is not equals to, then we use exclamation mark equals to sign. Then we get that the value is not equals to. Okay, then it will say true because the values are not equals to each other. Okay, so this is basically nothing but these are called as comparison operator, and the major use of these kind of operators is in the conditional statement. Okay, but before moving ahead, one last thing in Python we have basically something called as multiple variable single assignment. तो let's say अगर मुझे 3 वेरिएबल एक साथ क्रिएट करने हैं, सो एक ही लाइन पे मैं वो भी कर सकती हूँ. अब ये क्या करेगा, हर वेरिएबल को वैल्यू 10 असाइन कर देगा. ठीक है, इट विल असाइन द वैल्यू एज, अगर आप तीनों वेरिएबल को प्रिंट करके चेक करोगे तो ये तीनों वेरिएबल्स को एक ही वैल्यू असाइन होगी 10 10 10. कहीं पे भी अगर आप एक्स कॉल करोगे इट्स गोइंग टू से 10. ओके, देन देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज सिंगल वेरिएबल मल्टीपल असाइनमेंट. अगर मुझे अलग अलग वेरिएबल्स को अलग अलग वैल्यूज असाइन करने हैं तो वो भी पॉसिबल है. ठीक है, अगर अब मैं कोई भी वेरिएबल प्रिंट करूं कहीं पर भी तो बेसिकली it will allow you to print it. So in Python, you don't always need the print statement to check the value. Without the print statement also, you can check the value. But ये क्या करेगा, सिर्फ लास्ट की लाइन प्रिंट करेगा, लास्ट का वैल्यू. मतलब लेट्स से अगर मैंने x यहाँ पे लिखा, y यहाँ पे लिखा, z यहाँ पे लिखा, अब मैं जब इसे रन करूंगी राइट, तो ये सिर्फ z की वैल्यू प्रिंट करेगा, x और y को इग्नोर कर देगा. ठीक है, सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर विदाउट द प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट आप सिर्फ आखिरी लाइन को चेक कर सकते हो. अगर आपको बाकी सारे वेरिएबल्स की वैल्यूज चेक करना है तो यू हैव टू प्रिंट देम इनसाइड द प्रिंट स्टेटमेंट टू गेट द आउटपुट, लाइक टू चेक द आउटपुट. ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू द कंडीशनल स्टेटमेंट. Okay, assume that you got a call from company and they require new employees. Okay, now it is your HR like firm's job to hire good, like it's basically HR's job to hire great employees. Okay, so they have given a set of requirements for a particular company. Okay, so the candidate should be older than 23 years old, The candidate should have at least 3 years of experience. Okay, and the candidate should like know coding like Python or Java, and the candidate package is around 10 lakh LPA to 12 lakh LPA. Okay, so that are the different conditions. So you have to write a code to check if the employee, like, whose expected salary is between 10 to 12 LPA or not. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start with let's say asking for a input from the candidate. Okay, and we'll create like we will basically check on these conditions. Okay, yes Ashish will talk about it. Okay, so कैंडिडेट को हायर करने से पहले ये सारे कंडीशंस सेटिस्फाई होने चाहिए. Okay, so that's how I we will be hiring the candidate. Okay, we are working with a HR firm, let's assume. ठीक है, तो ये बेसिकली कंडीशंस दी है कि अगर ये कंडीशंस मेट नहीं है, ये सारे कंडीशंस अगर एक पर्टिकुलर कैंडिडेट के मेट नहीं है, देन डू नॉट बेसिकली सिलेक्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्सन. ठीक है, so let's start with asking for the inputs. ठीक है, so we'll ask for the input. Let's say age is equals to, तो यहाँ पे मैं क्या करूंगी, एक इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट कर दूंगी इस इनपुट को, बिकॉज आई वांट द एज टू बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इंटीजर वैल्यू. ठीक है, एंटर योर एज. Okay, next condition is क्या, that he should at least have 3 years of experience, should have 3 years of experience. So let's say experience is equals to, again, experience can be in a form of a float value, so let's keep it as float and ask for the enter your experience. Okay, post that. Python ka, I guess the web is the resource, Ashish, but ML ke liye there's a very good book which I like, which is called as O'Reilly's, hands-on machine learning. I'll just show it to you. कौन सी, मतलब पाइथन के लिए तो मुझे लगता है यूनिवर्स जो है हमारा यहाँ पर यूट्यूब और लाइक वेब इज लाइक फुल ऑफ इट. ठीक है, और आईलीज, बट मशीन लर्निंग के लिए आई लाइक दिस बुक अलॉट, हैंड्स ऑन मशीन लर्निंग. अगर आप इसका ओरिजिनल, मतलब इसका ओरिजिनल तो काफी इट्स कॉस्टली, बट इफ यू आर एबल टू फाइंड आउट, लाइक इसकी एक सीडी आती है, दिस बुक कम्स विद अ सीडी जहां पर बेसिकली नॉट गिटहब ऑन मशीन लर्निंग, दिस इज लाइक द बुक. ठीक है, इसमें टेंसरफ्लो और साइकिट-लर्न बहुत अच्छे से कवर्ड है, तो यू कैन चेक ऑन इट. ओके, सो इट्स अ वेरी नाइस बुक. इसमें सीडी भी आती है जिसमें हैंड्स ऑन मशीन लर्निंग यू कैन डू. सो या, दैट्स माय गो टू बुक. ओके, कोडिंग. Next will be basically I'll ask him to enter the coding language. Okay, is equals to uh, input, enter your coding language. And next will be I'll ask for a package. Okay. Package expectations means Python reference book. Rahul, मैं वही तो कह रही हूँ that I personally feel Python is something that you can refer on the web itself. Package expectation है ये, okay? ठीक है. So the company is only ready to offer, like between 10 to 12. So the condition is that the person will be hired only if these conditions are satisfied. Okay, or else he will not be satisfied, like he will not be hired, or maybe like they'll not consider with the screening itself. Okay. What do you think? How we can approach? I want you guys to think about your approaches as well. Okay. So we have conditional statements which can be, given. Okay. और मतलब यहाँ पर बेसिकली नेस्टेड क्यों, नॉर्मल के साथ भी हम कर सकते हैं. We can do it with the normal as well. नेस्टेड के साथ भी कर सकते हैं, नॉर्मल के साथ भी कर सकते हैं. What I will simply do is I will show you two ways, nested के साथ भी करना and without nested भी करना. We have to meet all the conditions और यहाँ पर basically या तो Python या तो Java दोनों मतलब है तो well and good. Okay, it is going to be very good for us. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll use the if else condition. पहले तो if check करेंगे हम. I'll show with the like nested conditional statements as well. Nested conditional statements are condition statement inside the condition statement. पहले हम age से start करेंगे that age अगर 23 के ऊपर है या नहीं है. फिर and okay, the next will be that the year experience that we have is basically greater than how much we are expecting 3. Okay, then we'll have another condition wherein like अब यहाँ पर basically मैं क्या करूँगी एक parentheses लगाऊंगी that मैं check करूँगी Python और what I'll do is Python in coding शायद मैंने यहाँ पे एक spacing दे दी है. Okay, coding language. और क्या करेंगे ना हम इसको डॉट लोअर फंक्शन यूज कर लेंगे. Python in coding language. I'll use a dot lower function. Why I'm going to use a dot lower function along with this? ताकि basically ठीक है मैम यहाँ कोडिंग में ड्रॉप डाउन कर सकते हैं ओनली जावा और पाइथन रहेगा. नॉट नेसेसरी. ठीक है मैं और कंडीशन यूज करके भी कर सकती हूँ राइट. Yeah, what I was saying is that I'm using this lower function ताकि basically what if like कोई किसी ने enter किया और किसी ने capital letter में enter कर दिया, like if the person has entered in the form of like P as a capital, so that is the reason in order to make sure that it's in lowercase I'm using the lower one. Okay, या तो Java या तो दोनों भी चलेगा. ठीक है Java in dot lower. Okay. No, don't start you learning ML already. Wait for it. Go with the flow. ठीक है अभी बहुत सारी चीजें जो आपको Python में बची है. ठीक है. Then what is the next criteria? The next criteria that expected salary should be between 10 greater than equals to अरे यार and कहाँ गया वो package expected. Package expected should be greater than equals to what 10 and कहाँ गया वो package expected less than equals to 10. ठीक है. So these are the condition. I am gonna hire the person only if these conditions are being met. Okay, so I'll just print the criterias are met. Go ahead with the interview. Else print the candidate doesn't meet the criteria. Okay. So that's how it is. Okay, let's move ahead and check on it. Okay, I'll just place this code over here itself ताकि वो एक flow में रनो. Okay, now I am going to start where have I missed on. Okay, I've put a colon here. Okay, now let's go ahead. I'm going to run it again. Okay, enter your age. So basically, let's say that the candidate's age is 24. Okay. Next, his experience is basically 4 years. Like he knows Python. Okay. Then like his expectation is 11. Okay. So all the conditions are getting satisfied. So it's executing the first block of code. Sanket, the difference between and or. Okay. And में क्या होता है? Basically, the value will be true only if basically both the conditions are true. ठीक है. Just a second, let me pull up the like there's basically something called as I'll show you the chart of it. Okay. Plus text. ठीक है. I don't know if it's going to allow to put it the way I want. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So देखो, let's say that condition A है. ठीक है. Condition A is false and condition B is also false. If I do A, condition A and B, तो and का आएगा false. अगर दोनों में से एक भी condition false है, right? तो basically and will say false. मतलब that condition is not met. If both the conditions are true, then only it will like go ahead with it. और में क्या होता है, अगर दोनों में से एक भी कंडीशन ट्रू है, राइट, it will say as true, like it will go ahead and give the boolean output as true, or else it will say false if all the values are false for it. Okay, so that's how like and हम उस situation में use करते हैं wherein like we want all the conditions to be satisfied, और हम तब use करते हैं जब हम दोनों में से एक basically, yes, it's about logic gates. Exactly. लॉजिक गेट्स का ही कौन ये है, लॉजिक गेट्स वाला ही है. ठीक है. अगर आप यहाँ पे डॉट अपर केस कंसिडर करोगे तो मतलब इट्स नॉट अ राइट थिंग टू डू, बिकॉज देर इज अ वेरी हाई एक्सपेक्टेशन, राइट, कि हाई पॉसिबिलिटी दैट जो पर्सन है वो अपर केस में क्यों एंटर करेगा, अपर केस सारे वैल्यूज को अपर में कर देगा. हाँ, दिस इज बीन स्टडीड इन दी बूलियन अलजेब्रा. 42 line, I did not understand line 6. Oh, my bad. Less than equals to 12. Okay. Now, this same thing. Okay. Let's say that मैं चाहती हूँ that 23 years, people who are turning 23 and जिनका experience exact 3 years भी है, उनको भी include करना. So all I need to do is I have to mention over here that equals to, and over here as well equals to. So what it will do is it's going to also consider the people who are equaling to this particular age, or else it will not. Okay, 23 expected salary. Let's say that kaha gaya expected salary, experience Java. Okay, and then the expected package 11. Can you see why it is saying that it doesn't meet the criteria? It's supposed to, oh my bad, it's supposed to be less than equals to 12. That is the reason it's saying that it doesn't meet the criteria. I have made it less, I believe. Yes, I have changed it. I have made it. This is supposed to be all. Thank you for pinpointing that. It's supposed to be like between it. So yeah, my bad. I have done something. Wait, either or करके use कर सकती हो, or simply I can do this. Works. Okay. Now let's move ahead and check. Let me just stop the execution and let me just print it again. 23, 3. Okay. Java experience. What is this exp expected? Okay. 11. Okay. So it's saying that the criteria has met and we can go ahead with it. because it's basically able to check on all the conditions. Okay. This same thing, it can be done in a nested condition also. Nested condition is nothing but it's like a condition inside a condition. मतलब हम क्या कर सकते हैं, यहाँ पे मैंने सारे conditions एक ही line में check करे. If I want to continue with this task using a nested condition is a condition statement inside a condition statement. So what I'll do is I'll start with if. Okay, yes, it's also called as a if else ladder. Okay, I will check if the candidate, I mean, if the age is greater than equals to 20 or not. If it is, then I will move ahead in the another condition. I'll check if the experience is greater than equals to 3 or not. Then I will check if Python in coding underscore language. Java dot lower or Java in underscore language dot lower. Okay. If it is, then I'll move ahead. And lastly, I'll check for the expectation if 10 greater than equals to. Okay. We will print this thing. Or else we will print this thing. Okay. So both are basically going to work the same way, exactly the same way. ठीक है, पहले क्या करेगा वो एज एक्सेप्ट करेगा, फिर वो बेसिकली एक्सपीरियंस मांगेगा, फिर वो कोडिंग लैंग्वेज मांगेगा, देन इट विल बेसिकली चेक ऑन द नेक्स्ट कंडीशन, and finally it will like say that the criteria is satisfied. This is also called as a nested condition, and we also know it's been known as conditional ladder means it's like a step, right? One by one it is getting executed, so that is the reason it's also known as conditional ladder. Okay, makes sense. So this is about the conditional statements. I want you guys to basically like perform one more. ठीक है, अब हम क्या करेंगे that we will, I want you guys to expect like there is basically something that the is being decided कि किसको कितना bonus मिलेगा. ठीक है, so bonus basically grading system के ऊपर है. अगर ग्रेड ए है तो 125% बोनस है, ग्रेड बी है तो 100% बोनस है, ग्रेड ई है तो बेसिकली 25%. आई जस्ट पुट अप दी कंडीशंस हियर दैट व्हाट आई वांट यू गाइस टू चेक. ठीक है, दिस इज बेसिकली व्हाट आई, व्हाई इज इट नॉट कॉपीड फ्रॉम मी, जस्ट अ सेकंड. ओके, something is wrong, I'm not able to put up the conditions here. So let me try again. I think my screen is frozen. Just a second, huh? Please screen freeze हो गई. Okay. Now I want you guys to practice on this one. Like these are the grades which will eventually decide the bonus of the employees. So I want you to find out, like ask for the input from the user about which grade he belongs to, and basically if provide him with the like bonus, how much percentage of bonus that particular person is going to receive. I'm looking for your answers. It's a practice question for you people. Are you sure this is how it is going to work? So Aditya has shared an output with me because even I am not sure about this output. Let's try it out. Okay. I don't think so that this. Okay. Let's say grade A. It did. Okay. Can you say that what if? Okay. What if a particular person is basically wanting to do this on the basis of conditional statement, not on the basis of this what you have put, like, or not on the basis of match and case. Okay, this is in the latest version of Python. Okay, maybe I haven't used it, Aditya, so far. But what if I want to use a conditional statement here, since we are on the conditional statements itself? Okay. What if the user is entering the input in a form of a small a, मतलब ऐसे एक छोटा सा a pipe provide करा, then how? Okay, I'm looking for your answers, guys. There are two ways how you can do it. या तो आप lower case में कर सकते हो उसको input को. Either you can basically mention two conditions in the form of your input. Okay, what we can do is we can ask for grade as an input. Let's say grade is my input. Okay, and asking for the input, after that we'll ask the person to enter okay. Either I can change it into lowercase, I can make it into lowercase, or else what I can do is I can use the or operator. Or को use करके I can like put up like combine two conditions that ये अगर capital है और basically small है, ठीक है, move ahead and basically like accept it as an input. Okay, wait, let me just do it myself only because this is going to create a trouble for me. Grade is basically equals to what we can do is either it's capital A, the grade is small a. ठीक है, या तो आप ऐसे कंडीशन को ये कर सकते हो, बट व्हाट विल दैट मेक इज इट इज गोइंग टू मेक योर कोड अ लिटिल कॉम्प्लेक्स. रादर देन दैट आप इस ग्रेड को लोअर केस में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. यू कैन सिंपली मेक इट इनटू लोअर केस. ठीक है, मतलब कोई भी कुछ भी इनपुट पास करे. लेट्स से दैट आई एम गोना आस्क फॉर इनपुट and I say A, or maybe I put capital A. So the output that now is being stored inside grade, when you check the output, you will see that it is in the lower case form. ठीक है, स्टार्टिंग में ही आप जो इनपुट आ रहा है उसको लोअर केस में कर सकते हो, एंड यू कैन पुट इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ योर कंडीशनल स्टेटमेंट wherein like you can print the messages accordingly. Okay, I still did not receive any answer, but I'm pretty much sure you guys will be able to do it. Once you guys are done, you can drop your, output here. Okay. Now, let's say that I have basically, I have to give a traveling compensation, which is in terms of experience in years. Okay. This is basically my traveling concessions, or you can say compensations, which can be given. Okay. If in case a person is having experience between 0 to 2, I will give a tier one उनका tier one experience हो जाएगा and they will get basically like a traveling benefit of tier one. We can just print that you will receive tier one, or you can print that 1,000 plus the bus pass, and 3 to 5 को कुछ और मिलेगा. Okay, so start with entering, like asking for a user input, and accordingly like answering it off. It's a practice question for you people. Can you guys try? Yes, Nayan, I have got your output. Okay. What I can do is I can just put it up here. Next one, you guys better try that as well. This A is representing the grade basically. Let's say it's A. Then we'll get 125% and so on. Okay. Attempt the next one and then we'll move ahead to the next topic, which is basically loops. Anubhav, the next question now. I have put that up. Try that as well. What do you want me to repeat? Rahul, what do you want me to repeat? I have put up another question here. I want you guys to try this. मतलब, like अगर traveling expense compensation 0 to 2 years experience इंसान का 0 to 2 के बीच में है, तो उनको basically tier one compensation मिलेगा, which will 1,000 rupees plus bus pass. अगर 3 to 5 years का experience है तो tier 3 अगर above 9 है, and tier 4 for private cab services. Like 9 or above will be tier 4. Sorry, my bad. Let me know once you guys are done. Okay, I do see answers which have been put up. Okay, let me just move to it and mention it here. I can simply basically what I can do is I can start with years of experience. Okay, I can ask for input for the years of experience, and let's make it as float because years of experience कोई इंसान float में भी डाल सकता है. And let's ask for the input and experience, and we'll start with running it. Okay, let's say that if the experience is 1.5, तो क्या होगा that it's going to satisfy this condition and it's going to print this particular value. Okay, then let's say if I mention the years of experience as 9, then it's going to say that the traveling compensation is tier 4. What if I mention the experience in -1? Can you see? Okay, there is something that has been resulting here. अगर मैं negative में, ठीक है? If I am putting, yes, Rahul, you will get the recorded video as well. If I'm putting the experience in negative as well, okay, it's still basically, like giving me that आपका जो tier 4 में आता है, you will get a private cab service. Okay, what if I don't like this is not a possibility, right? ये basically क्या कर रहा है that negative numbers को भी consider कर रहा है. So what can be done to avoid this? How? I want you guys to modify this. How it can be done? Anjali, check this. Like, if in case I am putting the experience, which is basically going in the negative zone, -1 experience, then also it is saying that it is basically going to have a, like private cab. I want to modify this. What we'll do is, इसको मैं डाल दूंगी elif में. ठीक है, I'll put a elif here. Okay. I will say that if the experience, years of experience, if it is greater than equals to 9. ठीक है, now when I run it, अगर मैं negative में डाल रही हूँ तो क्या होगा, let's see. It's still saying that it's tier 4. Let's run it again. Let's say -100. It's still coming there. What you need to do in this case is that you have to enter a else condition also. That else print enter a valid number. Okay. Are you understanding why this is happening? Can you see the last line? Anybody knows the reason behind this? Exactly. So that particular print is not inside a particular conditional statement. तो ये जो compensation वाला जो variable है, ये already last time initialize हो गया है. It has got initialized here. ठीक है. So what we can do is या तो मैं यहाँ पे compensation लिख सकती हूँ. Compensation is equals to not valid. ठीक है. Let's say that I can do this. Okay. And I can move ahead, and if I mention the negative number, so it is saying not valid. ठीक है, not necessary अंजलि. आप डायरेक्ट ये जो compensation वाला जो वेरिएबल है ना, ये बेसिकली लास्ट टाइम जब एल्स स्टेटमेंट के अंदर मैंने कोई कंपेंसेशन का वेरिएबल क्रिएट नहीं किया था, तो कंपेंसेशन का जो वैल्यू है ऑलरेडी इनिशियलाइज था, इट वाज ऑलरेडी क्रिएटेड एंड इट वाज ऑलरेडी होल्डिंग अ पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू. ठीक है, इट डिड नॉट गेट क्रिएटेड अगेन. सो दैट इज द रीजन आई हैड टू री इनिशियलाइज दिस कंपेंसेशन वेरिएबल. ठीक है, एंड देन इट वाज एबल टू प्रिंट दैट फॉर नाउ having compensation is not valid. Okay. Yes, there are multiple ways how you can achieve this. Definitely, there is basically multiple ways how this is basically achievable. Okay. But yeah, we have tried on this one because we were basically doing the conditional statements. Okay. Now, coming to the for loop part. Okay. Let's understand that why are we using loops, and let's understand how to create a basic for loop first. Okay, for loop is a loop which is basically used to generate a sequence of item. If someone asks you to generate like 100 numbers, a 10 100 numbers, 100 number 1 to 10, alternate numbers, okay, any kind of number kind of a statement like even numbers, odd numbers, so always remember for loops. Okay, starting with for I in range. Whenever I want to generate a basic loop, range is a function which is best used in combination with the for loops. Okay, so basically what I'll do is for I in, let's say 11, print I. Okay, so loops are basically used when you have to like like generate a sequence of number, or maybe like you want to iterate to through an iterable object. जैसे जो strings है, we call these strings and as an iterable objects. मतलब you can run a loop pass through it. ठीक है, or else you can use for loops when you want to repeat a set of code. ठीक है, जब आपको एक particular set of code भी repeat करना है n number of times, then also it can be used. Okay, so let's say that I have to use a for loop. ठीक है, like I want to create a like first thing I want to do is I want to accept like how many number of employees are there. Okay, and this is like a task that has been assigned, and I want to count the attendance of the people who are there. मतलब we will have a variable जिसमें हम employee count लेंगे as an input. ठीक है, we have the total number of employee count. Let's ask for the input. ठीक है, अब मुझे अटेंडेंस मार्क करनी है सबकी. Okay, and the condition is that if the attendance is marked as P, capital P, that means the person is present. If the attendance has been marked as H, then the person is absent. Okay, so what I can do is I can create a variable which is going to store my count. So I'll say P count is equals to 0. And I have another variable, I can call it as absent count is equals to 0. Okay, this is going to store my variable. What I'll do is I will start with running a loop for I in range. So range function में ना अगर मैं कोई input starting value ना दूँ ना, तो वो automatically 0 से start करेगा. So I'll say that I'll start with 1 and it will go on till emp underscore count plus 1. Why this plus 1? Because whenever I generate a loop, you'll see that last value that I have put in the range function will not be considered. So that is the reason this plus 1 is being put here. Okay. In the loop itself, I'm going to ask for the attendance. Okay, so I will ask for the attendance. तो ये क्या करेगा, ये 500 एम्प्लॉयज के अटेंडेंस को लाइक पूछेगा. ठीक है, इट्स गोइंग टू आस्क फॉर attendance of all the 5 employees. Input into your attendance. Okay, and when I run this, what will happen here is 5 times it's going to ask for the employee attendance present be. Oh, can you see I got an error because I was supposed to enter an integer and it basically asked for so p h p h. Okay, Now my next task is that I want to basically like print the total number of attendance for employees and total number of people who are absent, and also I want to get the total number of uh, like employees who are there. Total number of employees वही होगा जो मैं as an input ले रही हूँ, that will be the total number of employees. Okay, so what I'll do is inside the loop I will use a conditional statement in order to confirm the attendance. Okay, so in the case attendance is equals to P. Okay, I'll just convert this into a lowercase. Or attendance is equals to present. Okay. What I'll do is I'm going to increment the P count plus equals to 1. Plus equals to count is nothing but it's equivalent to P count is equals to P count plus 1. Okay. And post that I am gonna also check for the next condition using the elif statement. Elif, if the attendance is equals to A, or attendance is equals to absent. Okay. What I'll do is H count or sorry, A count is plus equals to 1. That means that person is absent, or else I'll print enter a valid input. Okay, I'll ask to printer enter a valid input. Let me just put this in a string value. Okay, post that I'll just exit my loop and I'm going to print present employees count, print absent employees that will be marked in H count. Okay. A count by okay. Let's see. Okay. So let's say that I have total number of employees as 5. Okay. So it's going to ask for inputs. Okay. So total presents are coming out to be 3 and total absence are coming out to be 2. Okay. Ma'am, एक variable use करके true false करा के भी compare. What Jadhav, sorry, Akshay, I did not understand what to compare here. I did not understand your question. Can you repeat? Like, what are you exactly willing to compare? Okay. Now, just a moment. Let me give you a question with while loop. Okay. I want you guys to try this question. Okay. So you're given a task of calculating the total salary of group of employees. Okay. So in the group of employees, like they might comprise Avanish, what do you want me to explain this part? So over here, what we wanted was we wanted to check and count the people who have attended the office. Okay, so सबसे पहले to check the attendance, what we need to know is कि कितने total number of employee count है. ठीक है, so we begin with basically asking for the input that how many total number of employee counts are there. फिर हमने उनके अटेंडेंस को मार्क करने के लिए कितने लोग प्रेजेंट है कितने लोग एब्सेंट है वी क्रिएटेड 2 सेपरेट वेरिएबल्स. ठीक है, And post that, what we have done is we have basically run a loop. एक loop क्या करेगा? For loop will basically generate a sequence of numbers and will ask for attendance again and again. कि अगर मैंने employee count basically 5 दिया, तो ये 5 times run करेगा and it is going to ask for like attendance 5 times and record the attendance and store it in a variable attendance. और कितने लोगों ने प्रेजेंट या पी एंटर करा है, पी मत का मतलब है प्रेजेंट, और या तो वो एम्प्लॉय पी लिखेगा या तो वो प्रेजेंट लिखेगा, तो वो पी काउंट जो हमारा प्रेजेंट काउंट स्टोर करा है दैट विल गेट अपडेटेड, और एल्स द पर्सन विल, इफ इन केस ही एंटर्स ए और एब्सेंट, इट्स गोइंग टू इंक्रीज द ए काउंट. अगर ना करे तो बेसिकली वो एक लाइक फंक्शन लिखेगा जो बेसिकली दोबारा दोबारा से अटेंडेंस मांगेगा, लाइक इट विल आस्क टू एंटर अ पर्टिकुलर वैलिड इनपुट एंड स्टॉप द लूप. ठीक है, so that is how it's going to work. Okay, finally we get the counts of it and we printed the values who are present and who is absent. Okay. Now next task is that you're given a task of calculating the total salary of group of employees. ठीक है, let's say that मेरा जो employees है, ठीक है, उनका salary is in a form of a list. This is the list that I have. Okay, and I want to write a particular program which will take the input of salary one by one and calculate the total salary of the group of employees. So try to do it. It's very simple. Yes, exactly. Sum of salary is something that will basically eventually give us the sum of salary of these. Okay. But if in case, let's say that the salary was not given in a form of a list, and मुझे दोबारा दोबारा से एक particular, like I want to ask for inputs from the user. Okay, what if I want to ask for the inputs from the user and I want to create a list of salaries? Okay, understand the question. Okay, I need the input from the user. Let me just write it here. User, okay, for the salary or in a list, calculate the salary. Akshay, what you have given, it's a answer for, like getting the average salary of them. I want the total salary. So ये जो task है, I want you guys to do it using for loop and I want you guys to use a while loop also. ठीक है, I've already got an answer for loop. Try it with while loop. How will you guys do it with a while loop? Use while loop for this. While loop is a conditional loop. I want you guys to attempt this question using while loop. Tried using while loop. For loop में कैसे करेंगे? Like I'll just ask for let's say that number of employees. ठीक है, पहले तो मैं number of employees as an input लूंगी. ठीक है, let me just go ahead with 5 employees for now. For I in range number underscore employee plus 1. 1 comma. Okay. Then what I'll do is I am going to ask for the input and let the input be for salary. Okay. I'll create an empty list which is eventually going to store my salary because I want the salaries to be stored in a form of a list as per the ask. Okay. Salary is equals to again input into your salary. And I want to calculate the salary in the loop itself. So we'll create a variable sum. What we'll do is we'll store the values in the uh, like summed variable sum plus equals to okay. And finally I'm going to append the salary in the empty list. इससे क्या होगा मेरी जो values है that will be appended and stored in the salary like let me just change the variable name salary underscore list कर लेते हैं ताकि थोड़ा confusion avoid हो जाए. Okay. Now let's say that salary is 10,000. Then the salary is 20,000. Then the salary is 15,000. The salary is 18,000. And the salary is 20,000 again. Okay. Now when you check the salary underscore list, right? इसमें ये सारी values append हो रखी होंगी and we'll have a list onto us which will eventually be the salaries. And if you check the sum, you'll have a summed up value for it. अगर इसके on top भी आप sum करो, right? Let's check if the answer is coming out to be correct or not by using the built-in function. This is like the built-in function that we have for getting the summed values. Why? Ah. Did you understand what happened here? मैंने ये sum function यहाँ पे use कर लिया ना तो it has named it. Just let me just change the variable name here. अभी तो नहीं होगा यार ये. Let me just try another function then. I'll try the numpy function then. Okay. So the value is coming out to be the same, and I do see people have posted for the while loop. Yes, that's correct. I do see you guys posting. This task can also be done using while loop. All you need to do is, let's say that I am again going to have these three values with me. And I will start with basically, let me copy one of yours now. Okay. So let's say we have the employee salary. Okay. And we are basically running a loop, which is a while loop. Salary is going to store my summed up values. Okay. And I am appending each salary inside it. And we are running it till the time the count is equals to 1. We'll stop the loop once this condition becomes true. Okay. Let's say it's 3. Okay. We have a employee salary as 20,000, 15,000, 10,000. this is throwing in salary. This is not callable because that it's something that I have changed the definition of the word. That's why. मैंने some function use some को मैंने like variable as a variable use करा था, right? That is the reason it's happening. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's take a break. Okay, we will start back and we will move towards the list, tuples, and dictionaries and sets as well. Okay, let's take a pause here. I will be back. Like you guys also take a break and we'll start again. Hello, everyone. So let's begin where we stop. Okay, I hope my screen is sharing. Are you guys there? Okay. Okay. So let's say that this is basically like a list of items that I have. Okay. And I have to accept, matlab, this is like an employee list that is right in front of us. Okay. And now what is there, like just a moment. Huh. Every time a new employee comes in, I want to basically add a new value to this list. This is going to be my employee list. Okay. So how we will do it? We will basically use which function in order to add a new item to list? We use the append function. Okay. So we will basically move ahead and we will use the append function in order to append any kind of new items to it. Okay. So simply I will like move ahead and create a like use an append function to add a new value, and it will basically add a new item to the list towards the end of it. ठीक है, मतलब ये जो list है इसके आखिरी में it will basically add a new item. Okay, let's say that I want to add in a new item to this. ठीक है, now I want to remove a particular employee who has left. We can simply use the remove function in order to remove a particular item. Okay, so let's say that I want to remove. Okay. Now I have decided to sort this list up according to like alphabets. Alphabetically, I want to sort the lists. How can that be done? Using the sorted function, we can simply sort the list in ascending order, like according to its like alphabets. Okay. We also have another function which is a default list function which is called as dot sort, which will eventually sort off the list. Okay. Now there's basically और दोनों functions में difference क्या है? ये built in Python function है. ये function ना मेरे list को update नहीं करेगा. It will not update my list. Whereas when I use the dot sort function, it actually updates my list as well. Okay. Now just listen to what I have to say, okay? And try to do this, okay? Now consider that I want to create a particular system, okay? I want to check and I will only allow a particular new name to be added to my list. If it is there already present in my list, I will give an error. Okay. Again, I repeat my question that check if a new name is already present in the list and give an error message stating that value exists, or else append the value. Also, if the value, just a moment, let me just put this here. Okay. Also, like if the value is already not like, okay, first perform this task, then I'll modify the question. Okay. So this is like the list of names that we have. You have to check if a name already present in the list or not. If not, append the value. Okay. So we can simply, what we can do is, without the loops, हम क्या कर सकते हैं, if we can ask for the like name as an input, or we can say new name. Okay. We'll ask for the input. Post that, what we'll do is, we will check if new underscore name in the list that you have, which is the employee list. If it exists, then we will basically print already exists. Else, we will print, I mean, we will basically move ahead and we will append the value. Okay. So that's how, let's say if I enter, since this value will not be there, what happened? Sorry, M underscore list. This will move ahead and this is going to append the value in the list. Okay. And let's say if I enter some other input which is already present, it will say already exists. Okay, so it's basically checking on it. Okay. Just give me one moment, okay? Just give me one moment. Somebody is at the door. Okay. Okay. So that's like about list. Okay. What is the difference between lists and tuple? Like the most basic difference that I would say between a list and a tuple is that like a tuple will not be able to remove the values. Okay. Like the mutability is, yes, exactly, Jeet. The mutability is like the biggest issue between a list and a tuple. In tuples, you do not have a remove function. Okay, let's say that my employee list, right? If I just convert this into a tuple and I update it in the emp underscore list function, okay, and I try to remove a particular value from the employee list, I have updated in the list function itself. Okay, I try to remove any value. Let's say that I try to remove Robert from it. It's basically going to throw an error. It doesn't have a remove function. You will not be able to delete a particular item which is created directly. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay. Now I have a dictionary with me. Okay, let me just put up my dictionary here. Okay. This is like a dictionary that you are able to see. It's a nested dictionary. मतलब एक dictionary के अंदर एक और एक dictionary है. If you see, the dictionary has a key called as John Smith, and then it has a value as another dictionary, which is basically like the age, department designation, and salary of hers. ठीक है? Do remember, in the dictionary जो हमारा keys है, that is supposed to be unique. You cannot have an immutable object or any like repeated item in the form of a key. If you have a repeated item, like it's not unique, then it's going to basically override itself. Okay, and immutable object, like if you try to put a list here, it's going to throw an error. Okay, so this is basically my dictionary, and I want you to write a program in order to display the salary of John using his name. It's quite simple, right? Wait. Yeah. I want you to write a program to display the salary of John using his name as the key from the employee's data. How that can be done? It's quite simple, right? All you need to do is, what is the name of the dictionary? It's employee data. Okay, so it's quite simple. Like we need to mention, we need to see the salary of John Smith. When I run this, it's only going to give like the entire. Oh, I have not run this, I believe. So when I run it, it's going to give me only like the entire dictionary, like value associated with John Smith. I want to see only the salary. Then we can get the salary as by passing the next input, which is going to be salary. Okay. Now, the next thing is that I want you to take the input name as the input and then display all the details of that particular employee. Okay. Or maybe I want you to append a new dictionary to it. Like I want you to append a new entire, like value to it, जहाँ पे basically एक नए employee का details आएगा. How will we do it? Let's say that employee underscore data, okay, and my key is going to be and then I want the value to be in the form of a dictionary. So we'll have the age. It's in the form of integer. Then we'll have the department. Department is basically whatever it is. Designation. And finally the salary. Now, when you see the employee data, you will be able to see the newly added dictionary towards the end of it. Okay. So that's how we can basically add a new value to it. Okay. Okay. Let's say that I have the employee list, right, Upar? Okay. I want you to write a particular program which will basically find like if a particular employee is present in that particular list or not. Okay. So I want you to write a program which will check if a particular employee is present in the dictionary or list or not. Not dictionary, a list I'm talking about. So list or not, and it will print that if a particular person is not present, it will print that it's not found. Yes, you can. So when you typecast the dictionary to a list, what will happen is it's only going to retain the keys. It will drop off the values associated with it. But right now, what I need is I want you to find if a particular value is present in the list or not. जो हमारा ऊपर list था ना, let me that in the list. I think I have converted it into a tuple. I will convert it back to a list. ठीक है. वैसे तो tuple में भी कर सकते हैं. I just want to find out if a particular value is there or not in the list or a tuple. So it's quite simple. You will accept for an input from the user. Okay. You will iterate through the list and you will check. Or even if you don't iterate through the list, you can simply check if it is present in the like list or not. Okay. So let's say that okay, and I will check if M, M list. The same task can be done in basically like our dictionary as well, right? It can be done in dictionary as well. We can simply check if it is present or not. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. How you need to do is, rather than using the emplace, what we can do is, what was the name of that object? It was employee data. In the employee data, if I just check, it will say present if it is found, or it will say not present. Okay, because when like I'm trying to check, it's going to access its keys directly, not the values. Okay, and just say like even if you are trying to like check it using the other one, it's going to basically typecast it, like it's going to retain only the keys, not the values. Okay. Assume that we have a employee's name. Okay. It's in the form of a set. Let me convert this only into a set. Okay, set one is equal to set function employee underscore list. Let's say that I have another set two, wherein I have okay. Let's check our set one and let's check our set two. Okay. Do I see any repeated names? If I don't, I'm gonna add some. ठीक है. Okay. I want you to get the intersection of it. So let's say if I ask you to like give me the set of employees who are good at client engagement. Okay, let's say that our old employees are the ones which are good at client engagement, and we have some set of new employees as well. Okay, so what we can do is we can simply do the intersection of it, right? Yes, or maybe. Exactly. And what is the sign for doing the intersection? Which sign do we use for doing intersection? Okay. Now, let's say that I want to basically perform a union of it. How will we do with the union? Yes, it's for union there. The union is for this. And what is symmetric difference? How do we perform symmetric difference? We have the function also available for performing the symmetric difference. Even if I do the opposite of it, it's going to be the same. मतलब set 2 से करूँगी तो भी is going to be the same. Okay. Now I believe you guys can shoot your questions, guys. Okay, one by one, I will start taking up your questions, which you guys have. Doubts, questions, whatever is there, just start one by one. No doubts, or you guys want to go? because I think like you guys will be getting a recorded sessions for ahead, and you guys can take it up then. I'm assuming that you guys do not have. Creating an empty dictionary is as simple as creating an empty list. All you need to do is assign a variable and open the dictionary sign. That's it. That's an empty dictionary. Even if you print D, you'll see the curly brackets will be printed along with it. That denotes an empty dictionary. Can you show me the cases, Anubhav, where you have got this particular thing as an error? मतलब अगर आपको error आया है तो you can like show it to me where you have got it, so I can like help you out. If in case you are getting error from this, आप ऐसे भी कर सकते हो. This is also basically an empty dictionary. वैसे it's not like relevant that it has got error, but अगर आया है तो you can try this one. Okay, then I think there are no more questions, so I'm gonna like let you guys go. Okay. Again, if you have a question, you can ask me out, or else happy Sunday. Take care, you guys. Bye bye.